what it do? Make that like button blue. Sub if you new. Hey, what it do? Make that like button blue. Sub if you new.
Hello, salutations, what it do? It's Stop the Gamer off out there. Do-Rag Gang, know the vibes, like and subscribe, let's get it. What's up, chat? Greetings, Do-Rag-lation. Happy Independence Day to all my fellow Americans. Blah, blah, freedom. What's up? Brian confirmed Black Panther skin coming, I heard. What's up, everybody? What up, Divine Shine? Lemon, Shadow Widow, Shandon. What's up, Mr. Clean Kids? Not this Patrick, Christopher Harris. What's up, Deshaun, Zach, G Skills? What's up, Christopher? What it do, Yardrat? Definitely check out Yardrat Hearts on the old YouTube. I believe his command is !hearts in the chat. What's up, Genius Button? What's up, Alexander? What's good, Damien? Tony Shark in the building. What's up, Elijah? Ability. Shout out to all my defenders. What's up? You're making burgers on your deck over Park Avenue. Look at Mr. Flex Kids over here. What's up, Aaron Robot? I didn't know they let you do that in New York. But they have like rules against fun and grilling in general. You've been a subscriber for months. Where the hell is your honorary durag? What's up, Uncle Casual? !Casual. Support my boy. Unfortunately for you, durags are not membership perks. But if this channel gets some more revenue, I'll consider sending it out as gifts to Discord members. Happy 4th, Craig. It is illegal. Mr. Clean Kids, living dangerous. Kristen Square Enix released X-Men. I imagine. How is Jane? She's better than Thor to me. Grilling some raccoon? Hey. What's up, Junior? You really okay with the remove operations? I already believe. Oh yeah, we're definitely talking about that. What Black Panther skin? I don't know what skin, but Brian was streaming on Twitch and he said that they have a Black Panther skin coming. The first one since September of last year. Sub Destroyer. What do Jeff? Grinding Jane right now. More balanced than Thor. A little too late. Look how thick Jane is in that skin. We don't need Thordis. We still need Thordis, but until that drops, this will do. Operations are not solo. How you think you got the OLT and raids? Party operation. Well, they're not. Well, they weren't actually operations. They were originally. They're originally supposed to be part of the operations, but they had to be delayed. So they ended up being released separate pieces of content, which is what we're going to get into, because I personally am of the mindset that this is a good idea. Natasha Foster. Nope, we're just starting, Craig. Just getting everybody in here. Giving everybody a chance to get in here. Today we're just gonna talk about some stuff. Talk about this whole operation versus multiplayer thing while I farm Wakanda for vibranium payloads on my minor artifacts. What's up, Shadow? Who do you think the next hero is? Since you said the hero is an Echo, Black. What's up, Black King? Winter Soldier. The order's tomorrow. Tomorrow's Tuesday. Operation Raccoon City. So operations are apparently on the chopping block. So what they are talking about doing is not stopping story content, but stopping these story-driven operations. So basically, those 2 hour, when you get an operation, it's basically, you know, like a couple hours of solo driven story content, and it's basically one and done. You play it, you know, the vast majority of players don't replay it. Basically, they're lazy. Well, no, that's actually a lazy answer, to be honest. Saying that every decision they make is because they're lazy is because they're not Epic Games, they're not Bungie. They don't have infinite amounts of money to spend on their game. They're in a position where all of their money comes from cosmetics because they promised that all DLCs were going to be free. So it makes total sense from a business standpoint to not invest money in these operations if they're not getting a real return from it. Like, they're spending all this time and money trying to put out basically solo content that the vast majority of players are only going to play once and then never again. And they're not even selling the content. Like, it would be an argument if they were selling that content, but they're not even selling it. So they're relying on you to buy skins while you're playing this free content in order to justify making it in the first place. Embracer has a lot of money. That doesn't mean they're going to give Avengers a lot of money in order to do things that aren't making the money back. Like, that's not how business works. So it makes perfect sense that if players aren't playing the thing more than once, they saw this with War for Wakanda. They spent a year. It was a massive undertaking. They were outsourcing different studios. They built up, you know, all this stuff. They had built a whole new biome. Did everything ground up in the new biome. Appreciate the sub, Eddie. Welcome to Durag Gang. They spent all this money, all this time on War for Wakanda, and what happened? A bunch of people came to play it, and then most of them left once the story was done. And the people that stayed behind played, most of them didn't play the War for Wakanda again. A few of them played it maybe once more, and then a very tiny percentage played it over and over again. So from their perspective, it's like, why are we putting all this money and time into resource when we have a small team? We don't have that much money compared to other live service games. Why are we spending all these resources on content that no one's going to play again? That has no replay value. Like, it doesn't make sense. So yeah, I'm fully in favor of them scrapping operations. Because it doesn't make sense. There's a happy middle ground here, and Nick E actually mentioned this in the Reddit. What's up, Navaflow? The compromise or middle ground, an example of what this would look like without operations, is beating the odds. The Monica villain sector. This was a villain sector. It was new content. You could play it solo. You could play it multiplayer. It had cutscenes, even a bonus cutscene at the end that you unlocked, and it advanced the story. It continued the story. It was basically the finale of the Hawkeye DLC. It closed out that story and had another had a narrative thread that leads directly into Ultron. So that's a good example of how they could still do story content. They could still have the story, but make it make sense for the type of game that this is. So if they're doing stuff like, if they did stuff like that, I think that would be a fine middle ground. You know, have stuff like the Monica villain sector that is multiplayer or solo, that still drives the story forward, but then also have endgame stuff like, you know, the 175 OLT or the raid. You know, eventually a horde mode. You know, stuff like that. As long as it gets heroes out faster, I think that's fine. I think that's a good idea. What's up, Ralph? We need an operation now and then just to get story, but under crazy. Like if they like, I'm with them doing. I don't mind them doing like a big expansion. Like save that for an expansion if you want to do more stories, like in terms of more, you know, cutscenes and solo missions, but make that an expansion and charge for it. They don't need to cater to the players here. They need to cater to the players who left, so the game can be good for them to play. Yeah, the goal here is to be bringing in more people and growing the game. So, like an example, a Captain Marvel expansion. If you want to have, you know, single player set pieces and stories, stuff like that, I'm fine with that for the Korean invasion. But also make sure you have stuff for endgame players in there. Like make it like an actual expansion, like a Destiny expansion, or like Outriders just did with World Slayer. You know, make it something like that. But even then, don't even make it solo. Make even the story-driven stuff multiplayer. You know, you can still have the cutscenes, but make sure everything is still multiplayer. Nobody impacts the story so far, though. What do you mean by nobody impacts the story? Small cutscene here and there is enough to make you happy. It doesn't have to be with every hero drop. Yeah, I definitely think they should charge for expansions, though, but make it like an actual expansion. They need to focus on making their new heroes as fun as possible, and make sure, well, they already got that. I don't think they need to worry about that. Make sure players have content to play. Yeah, that's where they need to get better. Yeah, like I'm sure some people will complain, but they definitely should charge for the Korean invasion, and they should make it an expansion, like a legitimate expansion. Charge for it, set pre-orders up, and yeah, I understand. You know, they promised under Square, but this ain't they ain't going to be under Square no more. You're like, yo, we're gonna do all these. We're gonna give you these, you know, hero drops, these these OLT type, these little things here and there for free. So most of the content could still be free if they wanted to go that route. But expansions should cost money, because the more money they have to put towards it, the better it'll be. I have no idea when Ultron is coming at this point. I assume Ultron is going to be after. I assume Ultron is going to be, if what they're saying about the OLT is true, that whole patch is basically the end of the AIM storyline. So then that would make sense if the storyline after that picks up with Ultron. But I don't know if that's going to be a solo drop for a villain or it's going to come with a hero. Charge for characters, not expansion. Well, they're going to make more money on expansions. If they're just charging for characters, then you're basically asking them to what? charge for hero. There's less incentive to charge for a hero event than there would for people to buy a hero event than there would be for someone to buy an expansion. That's why it makes sense to charge for an expansion. Because with expansion, there's already people who are used to getting everything for free in this game. It makes if you're pitching an expansion that's like, you know, the Korean multiple new characters, the Korean invasion, you know, a raid, all this new stuff, you can justify charging for that. But if you're saying, oh, here's a new character, and here's a comic book cutscene, no one's going to pay for that. Charging for expansions will kill the already very low play. The people who don't want to pay for expansions don't matter. Like I'm talking about from a bigger business standpoint of bringing in new players and growing the game. Like there are people who don't want to pay for anything no matter what. Like they're appreciated. You know, we appreciate their contributions, but they don't matter. They're not going to grow the game. They need to be focusing on the bigger picture. Like if they give you the OLT free, Ultron whatever free, Winter Soldier free, She-Hulk free, and then $30 Captain Marvel Kree Invasion expansion with raid and patrol and join in progress and all this other stuff. That makes sense. They still have free stuff. They still have free content they're giving out, but now they can satisfy the people that want bigger stuff and bring in more revenue and attract more players. I guarantee you that the people who are going to say, no, I'm not buying that expansion, are basically the people on Reddit who don't pay for anything anyway. But people that, you know, look at that and say, oh, a paid Captain Marvel expansion, oh, a paid Doctor Strange or Wanda House of M expansion, I'd pay for that because that's going to not only bring people to the game, that's going to bring in more revenue. The real problem is they don't know how to do a looter or a multiplayer. That's another thing they're fixing. I mean, the loot is much better than it was before. We got to give them that. The loot system has gotten a lot better. Multiplayer, unfortunately, they're not going to have they're never going to have crossplay. That's just not going to be a thing. It's too late for that. What's up, DJXD? What is a horde mode? A horde mode is a game mode where you're fighting waves of enemies of increasing difficulty. The Lucky Ray Gun Goku expansion. I'm sure people would pay for that. What's up, Kevin? If you don't want to pay, you don't get the content. That's how games work. Exactly. That's how Destiny. That's how Destiny works. That's how Outriders works. That's how live service games works. You have stuff that's free to play, and then if you want the stuff that costs money, you pay the money, or you don't. They try to get Brian to fix aspect of the multi. You can't even get loadouts to work. I'm sure they can get loadouts to work. It's just, I'm sure the UI of this game is a complete mess. Has been since launch. So that's expensive and time consuming. Am I glad the gear doesn't change appearance? I didn't care at all about gear changing appearance in this game because I know Marvel is weird about stuff like that. So it never bothered me. It's a Marvel game. I don't care about the gear changing appearances. I care about the cosmetics that I get looking good on the character. You're fine. No storyline as long as it. What's up, that boy? Just wanted Doctor Strange Scarlet Witch. You're straight. With both patrol horror mode end up being in this game. That's well, I know they're working on patrol mode, but I don't know what they're doing with horror mode. They usually do what Division does: drop free expansions and charge for a 1 to 100 box XP set. $100 likes. Are we at 100 likes yet? We definitely are. We definitely are not. We should definitely get to 100 likes. I would definitely appreciate that. It's the freest way to support the channel. Leaving a like. It's the freest way to support the channel, and it probably helps almost more than anything. YouTube really loves it when you smash the like button. That set gives keys, outfits. So basically expand. So you're basically saying expand the stuff they sell in the marketplace. So go back to selling XP. So that's what I'm saying. Either way, they're breaking their promise of only charging for cosmetics. The Twitch, appreciate you. Do we know how many heroes we're getting? We don't. We do not know that, unfortunately. Division 2 should be the blueprint for every live service game. Of course, that's what companies do, break promises. Not Insomniac. And Insomniac we trust. Happy holiday. As well, of course. Division didn't even add many expansions. Back to back, the regular missions have so much replay value because it took a while to understand and needed specified roles. Oh, that's another thing they can improve on. Do I have the God Bless Cheese? I do. I also show people how to do it in my Jane Foster build video. Charge for nothing? Well, they gotta charge for something, unfortunately. For the people that love free stuff. Everything should be free? Well, then it's not a live service game if everything's free. I know John's trolling, but there are legitimate people who think that everything should be free in this game, and it shouldn't, and it won't be, because that's not how games work. Winter Soldier sounds incredible from the leak. They have confirmed that the next hero come to Marvel's Avengers will not be a clone. So that means either She-Hulk or Bucky. Well, in the context of the question, it would have to be Bucky. Appreciate that sub. Welcome to Do-Rag Gang. Because the person asked if they were going to get characters that aren't, you know, alternative versions of existing characters. He specifically used Hawkeye and Kate as examples. So it would have to be Winter Soldier. She-Hulk is a clone. I'm not saying She-Hulk isn't a clone, but she is a female version of the Hawk. Objectively speaking, she is a female Hawk. It's in the name. And that's specifically what the person who asked that question from Brian was concerned about. Like, are we going to have basically more original characters? Or are we going to have more you know, female or whatever versions of already established characters. They did, based on leaks, we know that She-Hulk is going to have different, you know, very different combat from Hulk, but she's still Hulk. She's still a Hulk. Even if her combat is completely different, it'll be more like Kate Bishop and Clint than Jane and Thor. Jane is more agile than Thor, yeah, but you know, 80%, 85% of her kit is exactly the same. So that's what we're saying. So Bucky would be the new character under that framework. I think that they should make certain characters group exclusively with paid expansions. In my vision, the expansion thing would be reserved for big tent characters. Like, I would pair Doctor Strange and Wanda in one expansion. Like, I would make a House of M expansion where Doctor Strange recruits the Avengers to help deal with Wanda, and the final boss is Mephisto, and it ends with and it includes a Mephisto raid. That's how I would do it if I were in charge. And I would definitely charge for it. Yo, my She-Hulk with Bucky is who you're personally waiting for. You don't know if you can choose Jane in campaign mode if you're trying to get that offline minor artifact. If you're using the offline vendor thing, then yes, you can use Jane. People have been using Jane, the offline vendor thing, to get stuff for Jane. I pay 100% for big expansions, not small things. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, charge for the big thing, charge for the big expansions, and then the smaller content drops are free. I think that's the better compromise. Thoughts on single player matches? I don't know what that is, but in this game, I don't think it needs anything more single player focused. The focus going forward needs to be on multiplayer and bringing in more players. Anyone know Scott Amos? As far as I know, Scott Amos has not resigned, unfortunately. He's still around. Mordo instead of Mephisto? Sure. I think Mephisto would be way better, though, since it's House of M storyline. So, not sure where Mordo fits here better than Mephisto, but if he's included in there, like a secondary boss, like in like how War for Wakanda has Claw and Crossbones, that'd be cool. Yeah, have Wanda and Strange in the same expansion for like, you know, $25, 25, 30 bucks. I'd pay for that. What's up, Ant? Wish they would make Shuri as playable Black Panther. You actually want an Echo character? You don't want Shuri as her own playable character? You want her as just Lady Black Panther? Morbius villain sector. Call it Morbin time. If y'all would get behind me, we could change the game. That's the thing. That's the thing. GS button. Everyone is going to have their different opinions on how to make the game better. I agree that the Division is a good model, but the Division is also a very different game. So it's not exactly one-to-one with what they can implement. Robert Mayer, appreciate that sub. Welcome to D-Rag Gang. Trying to pay for the Thor skin, you need them protein powder cakes. Same. I've been eating healthy all week. I'm looking for some dessert. All I need is real brew recapitulation, targeted farming. Yeah, like Alex is working on like all the stuff, but you gotta understand that that also requires like a UI overhaul because their UI is dog water. So you're a you're also a hardcore looter person, and everyone isn't that. So so you also have to keep that in mind. They're not trying to make the Division. They still want an accessible Marvel game. So there's like a balance in that. That down horrendous for Jane Foster. Is Hawk wearing slippers? Yeah, that's the bunny slippers. That's the Professor Hawk outfit. Came out a while ago. Personally, you want Winter Soldier, Falcon, War Machine, Vision, Sentry, and Strange. That's a pretty good lineup. Luke Cage would be OP. Would he be? He's just a brick without gamma powers. Vision would be dope. Give him an invisible skin buff. He's buying everything. Yeah, but that's boring though. Like, oh, he's really strong. Okay. He's really strong and durable. Yay. So is Hawk. So is Thor. The only interesting thing about Luke Cage is if they let him say "Sweet Christmas." You want to play with Ant-Man? That would be cool. There's no way they will not release Wanda Strange since they know they are a cash grab. It will make them a lot of money. I think they're definitely coming eventually for sure. Game is X-Men. This is an Avengers game. Yeah, unfortunately they pretty much nixed the idea of them making an X-Men crossover or anything like that. They were just basically, yeah, we're trying to make this just strictly an Avengers game. That's pretty much their position. Hawk is weak in this game. Not at all. Hawk is one of the strongest characters in the game. I think your build might need some work, my friend. And I can definitely help you out with that. I got a Hawk build on my channel. Really good for beginners and veteran players as well. !build in the chat for the full list of my build videos. You don't know why people keep asking for X-Men stuff? Well, because it's a Avengers game. It's also a Marvel game, and members of the X-Men have been also members of the Avengers. So it makes sense to include them. At least the ones that were notable members of the Avengers. Any quick thoughts on Midnight Suns? I mean, did they release anything new? I mean, I've talked about Midnight Suns a bunch already. I haven't kept up with anything recent in terms of DLCs, but is everything basically still the same? It's still a turn-based strategy game. So people are going to either love it if that's their thing, assuming it's well made, or they're going to be like, that's not for me. And so I feel like Midnight Suns is going to be popular, but it's going to be relatively niche. I think being a Marvel game and being a game that looks that good is definitely going to attract more players, but I worry that people are going to come into Midnight Suns because it looks like such a cool Marvel game and be disappointed when they actually get down and try the combat. Falcon Cap? You want Falcon Cap? Hulk is trash and you hope they patch his rock. Hulk is pretty nutty in this game if you build him right. It's a shame that Kate Bishop's heroics are so dog water in comparison. Logan's the clear choice. Hulk runs the same speed. Literally no one runs when they're using the Hulk unless they're trolling or they have no idea how to play. Everyone jumps when they're using the Hulk as often as possible. And when Hulk jumps, he's like faster than everyone except like Spider-Man and Kate Bishop. You hate Hulk? I love Hulk. Hulk's awesome in this game. Kate Bishop, low-key mid. She's really good. Kate Bishop is relatively niche in this game. Like, she's really good if you're a raid player. She's really bad if you're just, casual. Hulk is the same with Infinite Heroics and Rocks. In Power Slam. Like, exactly. Like, people literally just will, like, pick up Hulk, not understand how to play his kit, and then just give up and say he's weak. If your Hulk is weak, you need help. Facts. Running OSTs and raids today? Probably not. Definitely not raids, because, well, definitely not either. Like, I didn't save scum. I forgot to save scum the raid, so my Jane has no reason to play the raid until this Thursday. I did my OLT already, so I'm basically just trying to get through the Vibranium event before it resets. Got your Hawk Knight over 6K. That's what I mean, bro. You got Iron Man players outclassing Hawk every raid. Like, I think you just have a fundamental misunderstanding of like the end game, which is fine. There's a lot to the end game, and if you're not someone that's like super invested in different characters and the optimal way to play them, you probably just don't realize it. But yeah, the reason why Iron Man outclasses Hulk in a raid is because Iron Man is by far the best character in the entire raid, without question. Iron Man is so good in the raid that he's in its own tier. So comparing him to the Hulk, to say that Hulk isn't good, just shows that you don't actually understand what makes a good character for the raid. but Iron Man is legitimately at the top by himself with how good he is. Best way to go from 0 to 150. Check the Discord, Divine Shine. We got all the level up guides and stuff in the cheese in the Discord. There's even a cheese section now in the Discord, specifically for exploits. Spider-Man just has the perfect dodge and press triangle, doesn't need to parry. True. Bullseye would seem too weak to fight, but he does have the adamantium spine though. I mean, Taskmaster is if Taskmaster can be a villain in this game, they can definitely justify Bullseye, but I wouldn't want Bullseye, and ideally wouldn't want Taskmaster if I had been given the option before the game. Yeah, Spider-Man not having parry doesn't matter. Like, that's literally how he fights. It makes perfect sense that his kit emphasizes dodging rather than parrying. That's why it's easier to dodge with him than other heroes. Like if you're getting hit with Spider-Man, if you're getting hit as Spider-Man and you think that you need to parry, I think you just might need to get good. You can spam rogues with your Hawk build and clear out rooms instantly. Facts. Been down landing just the 29th. Oh, nice. How'd you enjoy it? Yeah, Discord. We had a bunch of new stuff to Discord. We got offline. We got the offline stuff. We got leveling up. We got exploits. Stop speaking fastest whole stream. I try. Need a crossbones sector. Definitely not crossbones, bro. Crossbone, like, I'm fine with them bringing back MODOK, you know, to close out the cloning labs. I better not see crossbones. Like that ship is sailed, bro. We'll move past crossbones. Loki for sure. Crossbones, let it die. It's too late. It's too late for crossbones. Trying to get your power past 150 is hard. That's pretty easy actually. So the way you do it now is you have to get superior gear. Superior gear is the only thing that gets you past 150. And before you could only do that with the raid or the OOT. Now you can do it with events, which reward you with superior gear for all your characters. So if the raid or the OOT is too hard for you, or you're just not able to complete them for whatever reason, just play the events. They happen every 2 weeks. Appreciate that sub, Malcolm. Welcome to our game. And you can pretty much do them solo, even when you have to play with other people. It's not like you're playing end game stuff. You're playing like regular Warzone missions, like what I'm doing right now. It's very easy. And the events give out pretty good gear, so you can basically just use the events, get some good gear, upgrade your character past 150, you know, work on your builds, and then you can take a shot at, you know, the OLT or the raid. Imagine traversing the Hell's Kitchen. What am I grinding for? Different stuff. I'm trying to stack some vibranium payload minor artifacts. I'm looking for the right stats. I'm just looking for just a few other random pieces just to add. I'm already looking to expand my Jane Foster build. That's what puts you all. 150 is as high as you can get with with solo because even events make you play with others at some point. I mean, some events. Like Tachyon Anomaly. Yeah, that makes you play with other people. But I mean, unless you have a bad internet or you're playing on PC, that's not an issue. But this one made you play with other players for the meta mission chain, but you can do the minor mission chains completely solo. So out of all the events, only 2 of them require you to play multiplayer at any point. So I think that's pretty fine. Like you say Spider-Man is good. You love playing Hawkeye, Cap, Iron Man, because Spider-Man is good. Like every character in this game is good if you know what you're doing. Some characters are more powerful than others, but every character is good. That's how every character is basically built. Every character was built to be viable, at the very least, in all the content. This 3000 vibranium hit thing is ridiculous. I did it with I did it with Hawkeye. I have vibranium bag of tricks. That jump was super easy. just put vibranium on Hawkeye's split shot and just press triangle. Problem solved.
Mindless robots and their keepers will never be a match for Wakanda. Nor it seems for the Avengers. Thank you for stopping them.
Only ISOs give you power level for the minor ones for this event. Unless you're one of those people that got those lucky glitch drops. But I definitely remember seeing higher power level gear though. But they did say this event wasn't designed specifically to increase your power level. They had to find a way to slow us down somewhat. So basically, some events are going to be better than others for just pure power level growth. What up, Dread? How's the vacation, my friend? Cap, not from Queens, but from New York. New York is in Queens. Is he in Brooklyn? Is he from Brooklyn? Both are in New York, though. Trip was great. Nice. I need to take a. I don't even like traveling that much, really. I just like a vacation in theory. Happy 4th. What's up, Treasure? What y'all talk about? We've been talking about this whole operation. We talk about different stuff, whether they should charge for expansions or not, whether it's good that they're not doing these story-driven operations, which are basically, one and done solo story content, and moving to multiplayer. We talk about that. The main event mission chain, yep. The main event mission chain gives all your characters gear, assuming they're at the right power level. So make sure all your characters are over 120. I legit laugh every time someone says Hawk is weak. It's so funny to me. Like Hawk, they say how you say Hawk is weak, but also his thunderclap got nerfed because it was too strong. Like, like make it make sense. Hawk is weak, but the devs had to nerf him because he was one-shotting bosses. Make it make sense. Explain that. Someone explain that to me. How's a character that was literally beating bosses with literally one attack weak, but he got nerfed because of it. That was always funny to me. It's like, wait a minute. He's weak, but also so OP that the devs are like, yeah, we can't let this happen anymore. They nerf Hawk. They nerf Thor. They nerf Hawk before they got to Thor. How did that happen? They just got around to nerfing Thor. Hawk's been going crazy, and they got rid of his stuff. They just let Thor do whatever until Jane came out, and they probably only did it so that people would play Jane more so that they didn't have people be like, oh well, Thor is so much better. Is She-Hulk still coming? Probably. How do you get Hawk really strong? Check out my Hawk build, ! Build in the channel. Full list of my Avengers build videos. Bro, another thing they need to fix is the AI. Ain't y'all Spider-Man just gonna pretend like he can't hack? Okay. You hope it'll be a tank sniper? I hope he gets a sniper. I don't know if he's gonna get a sniper rifle. I know he's getting a rifle. I heard he's getting a rifle. I heard the rifle is basically going to be customizable. Like he'll be able to add stuff like a grenade launcher to it. Spider-Man not that smart. Apparently not. Not this one. He's just standing there like he can't open that door. Most soldiers definitely use his knife and fist in his melee combat. I definitely expect him to use his fist. Check out Laajune Hawk build. Yep, he has a good build too, as do I. Check out both. Faultless Vibranium Payload, Might, and Resolve. That's not bad, but definitely would like more than definitely want that 3 stat. What's crazy is BP's getting the skins too. The Spider-Man has gotten else so far. What's crazy is that we're already pretending like Spider-Man didn't just have like a run of MCU skins. Like, it's always funny when I see that people are like, "Oh, why doesn't this character get skins?" Like, legitimately, a character can get skins for like a month straight, like a couple months straight, just skin after skin, and then someone else will get a turn, and then like, man, this character never gets anything. Like, Black Panther has not gotten a skin since September. Spider-Man has gotten every MCU skin except for the homemade suit and the stuff from No Way Home. He's gotten all the other MCU suits. He's gotten multiple comic book suits. Black Panther has gotten 2 MCU suits. He got a few comic book stuff with that launched with his DLC. And after that, after he got that second MCU suit, he's gotten nothing. He's gotten nothing. Like, it's almost been a year since Black Panther got his skin. That's crazy.
With me.
That is disrespectful to my boy. Agent Jameson, welcome to the Defenders. Thank you for the support. Wakanda forever. Definitely head over to that Discord. Or we might be hitting 100. Are we at 100 members yet? We're definitely getting up there. Go over there to the Discord and introduce yourself. Let's see. Like, that's funny. I got the pinpoint with might and resolve. I got a faultless with precision, and now I just got another faultless, but with might and resolve. Ian F, appreciate that sub. Welcome to Do-Rag Gang. Faultless buff, but the second perk is whack. Don't need that. Putting a lot of work on this game. Good. Work hard, play hard. Heroes of the least are Black Panther, Spider-Man. They're probably Hawk, Miss Marvel. Kate Bishop. Miss Marvel just got a new MCU skin. She had some comic book stuff before. She just got an MCU skin. She's gotten 2 free skins. Kate Bishop fans down tremendous. Who's the next character going to be? That's what we're going to find out as soon as they announce it. Odds are, if Crystal Dynamics is to be believed, it won't be She-Hulk, which would mean it's Winter Soldier. What's going on, C. Jackson? Daughter skin this week, I hope. I pray. Yeah, Kate legit only gets recolors of existing skins. And she came out in December of 2020. and she's gotten how many marketplace skins since then? Like, she just got her MCU skin when she made her MCU debut. Kate Bishop has gotten such disrespect. and most of her skins are terrible too. She has a few really good ones. A lot of them are pretty terrible. Is Stormbreaker Thor coming? Nope, Stormbreaker Thor is not coming. Unfortunately, for Stormbreaker Thor fans. MCU Stormbreaker Thor fans.
With me.
Oh, we got another one. Crypto Madness. Welcome to the Defenders, Crypto Madness. Thank you. We got another member of Durag Nation, growing strong, growing by the day. Definitely introduce yourself in that private Discord. We talk Avengers, we talk The Boys, memes, We got some Avengers cheese in there. We got all sorts of stuff in there. What's a good amount of champion points? The amount I have. Well, I had. So let's see. It takes actually it takes a lot of points to get through here. So it's like, so the champion system is on a progressive scale. So 1, 3, 7. It gets to be a lot. I don't like how they have the progressive scale this aggressive. Like you're at a point where you're trying to get to the last node on a tree and it takes 16 points to get there. So what is it, 32 for one row? So the only rows worth putting points into are 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Fortification, perk chance, hero charge rate, critical chance boost. And I have most of these filled out. And I'm at champion level 107. So you really don't need to be much higher than that. What artifact should you use for cap? What build do you have for cap? What is the point of your build? What perks are you taking advantage of? The Kate Simps are so mad. I mean, I don't blame them. They start giving out all this cake for Jane Foster when before they were censoring Kate Bishop skins. Like even minor ones. Jane be going crazy. Holy. He does so much damage. How good is Jane's raid gear? Most people have not gotten, well, no one legitimately has gotten to the elite raid, but so far the gear I've seen from Jane in the raid is pretty decent. O'Brien stream, pretty sure he said they don't have access to the Tasm or Raimi suit. Yeah, that's because that's like a Sony. That would be Sony's call. Last episode, what I think of the last episode of The Boys. The Boys are peak. I'm loving this season of The Boys. Like, I was getting pretty cynical about new entertainment because, you know, Disney has been putting out some just dog water. But Stranger Things and The Boys have been amazing this year. That last episode went crazy of The Boys. Jensen Ackles is such a good character in their role of Soldier Boy. Peak Fiction, can't wait for season 4. Yeah, like season 1 of The Boys was really good, but so far season 3 is way better. Soldier Boy tell him. Now we know more about Black Noir. Yeah, the Black Noir stuff is kind of interesting, but not really. Like his identity was much more interesting in the comics. But it's cool that he's getting more attention. What's up, Colin? Why this mission? Because I'm farming for raid minor artifacts, which you can only get from running these corrupted vibranium threat sectors while the event is going on. Season 2 of The Boys was kind of mid. I'm not gonna lie. Kind of like, you know, like the clone thing makes Homelander not seem like a threat. There's a clone that's there to kill him. That's the thing. I mean, we're having this similar thing, like where like it wouldn't be a guarantee that Noir would be able to kill him, but as we're seeing with Homelander is not as much of a threat as we think. Homelander is a threat primarily because he's unchallenged. Like most of the other heroes don't have the same abilities, but now we're seeing that there are things that can actually in the world legitimately threaten Homelander, and Homelander is not used to that. That's where his power is. Yeah, the Noir doesn't have the twist in the comics, so that's not a spoiler. His twist in the show is like not even a twist. Soulja makes Captain America look like America's Boy Scout. I mean, he literally is America's Boy Scout. I guess you could say he makes Loki look like America's Boy Scout. Because Loki kind of became a good guy, and Soulja Boy is like garbage. Complete garbage. Wonderful garbage. Jensen Ackles is wonderful, but he is garbage. Now that you're offended, can you request a Cake Foster emoji? I'm not sure how that would even look. Would it just be a birthday cake? Because I think that emote already exists. I'm not even sure I can even add new emotes yet. New emojis yet. YouTube puts caps on how many emojis you can make available. Let me see if we hit the latest thing. Badges and the emojis. I can make more badges. Oh, can't get any more emojis yet. We need 3 more members in order to unlock new emojis. If we get 3 new members, we'll be able to add another emoji. We'll be able to add to the emojis. yeah, we definitely got cake emojis. So it was everything you wanted John Walker to be. Oh, you wanted John Walker to be a just complete garbage human being? Or you just wanted John Walker to be played by Jensen Ackles? What up, what up? How many members? We are currently sitting at 69 giggity. 69 total members. What's up, Bruno? How you doing, my friend? What's up, Eric? Why are you Darth Maul screaming? What's this upcoming BP skin everyone's talking about? Brian was streaming earlier, and someone asked him about Black Panther skins, and apparently he said that Black Panther is getting a new skin. Stories need to come back. Devs looking for a cop out. I disagree. I think the devs are just thinking about it as a business. If you're not generating that much revenue, why keep doing it? If it's costing all this money and players aren't even playing it, why are they going to bother doing this single player story content? Jarrett, Jar Jar's Fasha, welcome. We got another defender. 2 more until we unlock the next emoji slot. Check Discord. Oh, did Crystal Damage do something? The upstream, appreciate you. You don't like the idea of game producers ending their story operations like that. So I think people are misunderstanding ending operations with ending story. They're still continuing the story. It just won't be in the form of operations. Like operations would be like Kate Bishop's Taking Aim or Hawkeye's Future Imperfect. Let's see, what's in the Discord? Tony Shark fabricating a post. What am I looking for? It looks like it's just Tony Shark and Aqua having a meme war, which they do every day. Having an awesome story left unfinished. Just hate. That's what I'm saying. They're not ending the story. They're ending the operations. You still got to finish Future Imperfect? Right. So they would still be continuing the story. They would just be doing it differently. They just wouldn't be, instead of these big single player operations where you have all these cutscenes, but you have all these missions that are basically single player and just focus on the story. Instead of that, they would be focusing more on multiplayer content. Think about more like Monica's beating the odds villain sector as kind of what they have in mind. The content, it's multiplayer and single player content. It tells a story, but it's not this big operation. It's a standalone villain sector that you can play multiple times and get rewards, and you can play with other people, but it still continues the story. So that's what they would be doing. They wouldn't just stop the narrative altogether. That's not what we're talking about. Like, I enjoy the operations, but from their perspective, I agree, and I would much rather have better multiplayer content than more operations, to keep it a buck. Like, I would much rather have horde modes, OLTs, patrol, and all that than another, 2-hour single player campaign that I'm going to play once and never touch again. How do you join Discord? There should have been a link in the instructions, but if you check the community tab, there should be a link. There should be a link to the Discord.
Mindless robots and their keepers will never be a match for Wakanda. No, it seems for the Avengers. Thank you for stopping.
I usually refresh it every once in a while, just because we eventually stack up community posts. Let's see. Yep, new member Discord. If you scroll down, the picture of Thordis has a link to the Discord. If you scroll down the community page, the Thordis, the thick Jane Foster, that's double cheeked up. That's that one has the Discord link. When do I think we'll get She-Hulk? If what they're saying is true about changing the order of heroes, then I expect She-Hulk in like November or December. You know, She-Hulk August. I did too. I thought it made sense, but if what they're saying is true, based on the timeline, we're not getting any hero in August. Yeah, he found it. I can't miss it. Can't miss the cheeks. Is the Mega Hive gear good? Kinda. Well, not really, but I've found like one piece. I like the melee pieces that drop from the Mega Hive. Like, I got this from Captain America from the Mega Hive. These are pretty good. You can get Precision, Might, and Valor on the same piece. You get a status on Signature, status on Power Attacks, and you get a Potentiator that builds up the status faster and gives you a damage boost on top of it. And you can get this on every character. This is pretty good on Kate Bishop as well. I have one for Kate that I also got from the Mega Hive. It drops with you can get either the Potentiator or a Faultless Jarvis Barrier. These are pretty good. Otherwise, I don't bother with the Mega Hive. What's up, Luis? Can't get an OLT done to save your life. You would think there'd be more people right now trying to get through it with Jane. Thought they were already finished with She-Hulk. Apparently, they changed the order around. I don't think they changed it to mess with Miller, but also maybe. But also, I think they don't want people to be like, oh, another Echo, even though She-Hulk's supposed to be different. Because they decided to do Jane, they might be thinking, well, let's do Winter Soldier instead. Aqua Wild in the Discord, yes. I know you're not talking Tony. Tony be wild in the Discord. Aqua be chilling compared to Tony.
Sending you the location.
Managed to get your Valor to 12,000 by 150. Yeah, I was stacking Valor on Jane, but then I was like, I'd rather focus on getting the perks that I need first, because Jane can do so much damage. I finally got a gold reactor buff, but I bet the stats are trash. Tony called you a shill. Tony is the biggest shill in the Discord, outside of Aqua. Shock might have been delayed because the Disney Plus was delayed. That is the rumor that She-Hulk was originally on track. So what Miller said exactly was he heard that She-Hulk was on track to come out by December, and that they ended up delaying She-Hulk in part because of the show getting delayed. But apparently Crystal Dynamics wants to release She-Hulk second. I think it's worth playing the raid twice. Nah. No, so what you should do with the raid, and what I try to remember to do with Jane, is save scum if you're able to. Like, you know, do your save scumming, create your backup save before you do the raid. That way, if the gear you get is dog water, you can just play it again. Otherwise, there's no reason to play the raid more than once. That's something they said they were going to fix after people complained about the OLT and their trash rewards, but they didn't really. There's still no reason to play the raid more than once per week, per character, unless you're save scumming, or if you're one of those people that just play the raid for fun, or you're trying to speed run and, you know, get the world record or whatever. Is it possible to get the dailies? No, the dailies don't give out exotics. Only the meta and the minor mission chains for events give out exotics. Captain Marvel next? Definitely not. How you save scum on PS5 upgrade? You just upload your save to the cloud. PS4 should have the exact same UI for doing it. You're just uploading save data. That'll create the backup save, and then you can just download over and over, hit download whenever you're trying to go backwards. What's the fastest way to get to 175? There is no fastest way to get to 175. Unfortunately, 175 is a grind. Unless you want to hack the game, which I don't recommend. The only way to get to 175 is by doing events and playing the Elite Raid. So once you're 160, you're basically only playing events in the Elite Raid. What build do I recommend for Cap? Whatever you want. I personally play ranged Captain America. Valor works as well. Melee works as well. Melee Valor. You can try to do a combination. Whatever you want. Just make sure you can do the battery effect, and you have the ability to deal a lot of damage and get your heroics back. Hope we get Avengers Tower. That was your standard. Yeah, they mentioned that they gotta figure out something with the menu screen as they add more heroes, because they're definitely like running out of room on that main menu screen, so they definitely got to figure something else out.
Mindless robots and their keepers will never be a match for Wakanda.
The CD finally nerfed Thor. Yes, they did. They have patched the Infinite Bifrost, and they nerfed his critical throw. Thank you for the sub, Luis. Welcome to Durag Gang. So if you were playing a ranged Thor, you probably noticed that you're doing less damage than usual after 2-5. Intensity, proficiency, and might. No resolve. No resolve, no valor. Sad panda. They can zoom out for more menu. I would like them to change it up. What kind of hero do I want in the game? I want a hero that has a red cape that does magic and has interesting facial hair and can fly. They didn't fix Invincible Raid Iron Man. I heard a rumor that they're looking at the missile spam though. The Invincible Iron Man raid cheese apparently is still a thing, but they might be coming for the missile spam. Your dad is a sorcerer. Is cryo gear good? What specific cryo gear are you talking about? Are you talking about gear that has the cryo stats effect, or are you talking about a specific set of gear? What are the perks that you're talking about? A magic Superman with a beard? Exactly. I want a magic Superman in a beard to be added to tomorrow's Avengers as soon as possible. How do you think Strange would work within the game? Like any other character? He would have a assault heroic, a support heroic, ultimate. He would obviously have to fly thanks to his being Doctor Strange and being able to fly thanks to his cape. I think it'd be nice to introduce him with a new stats effect, maybe. The Book of Ashanti you're talking about? They also have the Darkhold as well. What do you think his alt would be? I mean, they're not working on him, so I have no idea. He's not in development. But he has so many abilities. There's a lot of directions they can go with it. Stats effect would be Mystic. I know All Father Media he had a whole Doctor Strange kit on Twitter planned out. He had different suggestions for different heroics. Like they can draw for his hero kit, because he has such a wide pool to draw from. They can look at both the MCU as well as the comic books for inspiration for his kit. Doctor Strange could be a counter spell where you still enemy buffs. He can create portals and shoot. He can shoot energy from them. He can do the whole clone thing that he did in Infinity War. He can send people to the mirror dimension. I'm farming for minor artifacts mainly. I'm trying to get those vibranium minor artifacts with stats that I want. Shadow Clone Jutsu as his ultimate. When is the Thor disc coming? I have no idea. If Miller didn't leak the skin, I have no idea when they're coming out. Even when Miller leaks skins, I have no idea when they're coming out, and neither does he usually. So all we can do is speculate. I know that this week they're definitely going to be focused on the Love and Thunder stuff. So I know they're going to be revealing Thor Love and Thunder skins. They already teased the Thor one that Miller leaked last week. So I think this week is probably going to just be Love and Thunder stuff. Getting the Thor. Yeah, I would expect us to get both the Thor and the Jane MCU skin on Thursday. I think they're going to do two, because it wouldn't make sense to just do Thor. Who's next for what? Spider-Woman. I have legitimately zero interest in any more Spider characters. and Crystal Dynamics understandably doesn't either, after how poorly received the whole Spider-Man thing ended up being. Like, I know that Crystal Dynamics didn't want to do Spider-Man, but Square Enix forced their hand because Square likes money and Sony was offering a lot of it. But yeah, there's no more Spider-Man stuff coming in terms of like new Spider-Man characters. Like, there's not going to be Spider-Man villains. Only thing you should expect at this point is some more skins for Spider-Man to be, drip fed into the game. But they're definitely going to be getting away from Spider-Man, because there's no way for them to make him available on other platforms. And they're kind of embarrassed by that. And whenever they, spend time and resources on Spider-Man, they're doing that knowing that it's only for one platform. Yeah, I think the whole exclusive thing was short-sighted on Square's part. Sure, they got a bunch of money in the short term, but I think it hurt the game in the long term. Characters? What do you mean for what? I mean, I'm encouraging you to speak in full sentences, ideally with the caps lock off. But the next character has not been revealed yet. If we're speculating, it's probably Winter Soldier. But it could only, there's only two potential characters it could be. One is Winter Soldier, the other is She-Hulk. Xbox players fall for choosing the booty console. Is Elite Gear always the better option? No. When it comes to gear, the only thing that matters is the actual gear itself. What are do the stats fit your build, and more importantly, are the perks good? What about PC? Will Hydra be next? I have not heard anything about them doing anything with Hydra. I know next, I mean, they already told us what's next. Cloning Labs is next. After Cloning Labs is probably Ultron. They need to make more Spider-Man character exclusive if they did more Spider-Man. So my understanding is that to use the when they signed the deal with Sony, it was for full Spider-Man exclusivity. So I think that also applies to the rest of the IP. Definitely to another Spider-Man character, even if they're an Echo. That's why they haven't done anything else with Spider-Man. Like they're not going to add any. They didn't add any Spider-Man villains. They have no plans to add Spider-Man villains. The characters they're currently working on are Avengers. Winter Soldier, She-Hulk, Captain Marvel. That's who's in development. Even if they could, Spider-Woman is like so far down the list of characters that people want. Like if you read the comments, overwhelmingly people want either Doctor Strange or Scarlet Witch. So if they're looking for new characters to add, it would not be someone Spider-Man related. Sony is super annoying when it comes to Spider-Man. They can be, for sure. In general, when it comes to crossplay as well, Sony was basically blocking companies from doing crossplay purely out of greed. You're okay with it? You'll be okay if they discontinued the live service. Game has been dead since the only real content, which was the Black Panther expansion. I mean, definitely not true, but totally understandable if you're done with the game. Obviously, a lot of people aren't. That's why it's still getting support, and people still come to watch Avengers streams and Avengers content even if they say they don't. That's been the interesting thing about Avengers. Even the people who say they hate Avengers can't stop following Avengers. It's like it has this kind of hold on people. Rhino? Nah. Definitely not. Like, separately, I hate Rhino because I'm tired of I've played enough Rhino from Insomniac games. I was saying before, I never want to see Rhino in another video game ever again. because of how done I am fighting Rhino. Like we fought him in Spider-Man PS4. Then we have multiple Rhino fights in Miles Morales. I never want to fight another Rhino. Never again. I mean, we're not getting any Spider-Man villains in general, but if we were getting a Spider-Man villain, it would not be Rhino. It better not be Rhino. Sandman, for sure, that'd be fine. I never want to see Rhino again. You know, okay, with bugs and glitches still being ignored, that should be the biggest priority for them to take care of. I mean, it kind of is though. Like, obviously the game needs to be stable, and for the most part it is. There's still bugs. There's still some bugs that are left to fix, but like the major stuff, whenever there's a major bug, they definitely make it a priority. Just some bugs take longer to fix than others, and I'd say content should by far be their biggest priority. Because as you're seeing here, like even when they fix bugs, like no one cares. Like it's just a thing that is important, but like no one cares. Like even when they fix bugs, people still will say they didn't fix the bugs, like because they don't care. Like they see the initial bug, they hear people complain about it on Reddit or whatever, and then that just becomes the narrative, even after it's fixed. So they should still definitely fix bugs. Hopefully, if they get some more funding, they can expand their team size so that they can improve the QA process. So that they can identify bugs faster and test them more. Sometimes they fix stuff that's fixed when they definitely that's definitely happened before. But like the traversal fix, I still see people saying, "Oh, they don't fix bugs. They didn't fix the traversal bug." I'm like, they literally fixed it. Like I still see people say they literally never fix bugs, and like they fixed literally thousands of bugs since the game came out, and people say they literally never fix bugs. It's never something they focus on when it literally is. Unfortunately, they just don't have a big enough team. Usually live service games have really big staff that can divide into different tasks. They have like a QA. They have a QA team that can test all the stuff to find the bugs and identify them, and then they have devs that are available to just focus on fixing them. But Avengers hasn't had that. Like they legitimately had, Andy was like actually testing their content. And he was the community manager. Like Andy was actually play testing content. That's how small their team is. Like when your community manager is like one of your play testers, you know there's a problem. Yeah, you know, okay with the lack of crossplay. Yeah, I mean, people should just be over that by now. Like that's a wrap. Like when this game came out, remember when this game was in development, Sony was actively blocking people from having crossplay. People forget that. Like Sony was not letting people have crossplay because they were so greedy. Like Epic Games had to actually sue Sony over this. Because Sony was trying to strong arm. First, Sony was like, "No, we don't do we're not going to have it for certain games," and then they were just like, "Oh well, if you want crossplay, you got to pay us extra." Like, bruh. But the game's been out like approaching 2 years. Like we know crossplay would be great, but it ain't happening. Like. Crossplay ain't happening. It sucks, but yeah, we're almost at the 700-day mark. It's over. It's over. No crossplay. Crossplay would definitely help a lot, but it's just not viable to do after a game already came out. Imagine they put a beta ray Bill instead of Jane. I would be definitely less interested. Aesthetically. Well, so you'd be okay with a Thor clone just if it looked like Beta Ray Bill instead of Jane Foster? To each their own. It'd be dope if I interviewed Brian or Alex. Brian would never do an interview with me. Alex might. But we'd just be talking about gear. Pretty much. So I throw in some hypotheticals. I mean, I basically already did. We did a podcast together with Alex and AJ, and I got to do many interviews with both of them. And that was pretty fun. People seem to love it. We got to have like an extended conversation with devs. No Crystal. Well, Crystal PR guy might have been nearby, but you know, it wasn't like what you got to dev stream. It was an actual conversation. And it was really good to have, you know, get their perspective, especially since Alex and AJ are so chill. Definitely you should do it again at some point. Not the case for every game, but some games have gone from nothing to crossplay years after launch. I mean, that's years after launch though. And those games that did it spent a ton of money and time doing it. It's extremely expensive and very risky. And were those games also live service games? Like, that's the thing people don't fully appreciate. This is a live service game. It's an active live service game. If they try to implement crossplay, they can end up shutting. They would basically have to shut the thing down. It would be such a massive update, and it could potentially ruin the entire game. Aqua compared you to racist people. We do get up to tomfoolery in the Discord. But I recommend ranged or melee. Legitimately, you can do whatever you want with Jane. Her kit is designed for you to be able to actually do both. One or the other or both. Her kit is pretty well balanced overall, I would say. I wish her overcharge had a little bit more for melee, but melee, Jane is already a beast in melee. Even if overcharge is focused more on range. Did Fortnite get crossplay after? Fortnite completely overhauled their game. Fortnite went through a complete overhaul of their game. They started out as a completely different game than they are now. They recognize that, you know, people really enjoy this battle royale aspect, so they completely overhauled their entire game and just leaned into it. Start doing all the cross promotion. You hate racist trash people. Aqua compares you to them. Why don't you tell Aqua to stop or beat him up? But if you're not a racist person, just be like, just say that you're not a racist person, and that's the end. And there you go. You should email Brian and tell him to fix Kate's hair and her MCU skin and shrink down Spidey a bit. I mean, you have to email him, but you can. I don't think they will, but it's good to hope. When it comes to updating, like, when it comes to updating old skins, the thing you gotta understand is that it's not worth it to them to do it. They've had discussions about it, but nothing really came of it, because at the end of the day, like, it doesn't make sense for them to spend, you know, time and money updating, just doing a free update to an old skin. It would make more sense for them to just make skins with that better hair going forward, or sell a new skin, a new version of the skin with that different hair. Like, financially, it just doesn't make sense for them to just upgrade hair for free. Aqua's finally here to clear his name. They're saying you're being a menace in the chat in Discord. Saying you're throwing around accusations of racism. You're being a bully. Good morning, Digital. It's definitely disappointing that the MCU Kate Bishop skin doesn't have accurate hair, because that granny bun is not it at all. Hopefully Kate Bishop gets another MCU. I'm sure Kate Bishop will be appearing in MCU again, so hopefully she gets another look that they can add to the game for her and do it right this time. Because if they've proven they can do hair right, like with Jane Foster, they've proven they can do long hair, relatively long hair. This one classic cap shield with a classic looking skin. Yeah, they did the classic cap, but they didn't make it comic accurate. That was unfortunate. Call you a hard and awful person. That does sound British. There have been a few live service games that went crossplay. Apex, Overwatch, Sea of Thieves. Talk about exclusively live service looters. I'm talking about games in general, particularly live service games, active live service games that launched without crossplay. Like, I'm not talking about games that have crossplay. I'm talking about games that were live service games, active live service games that launched without crossplay completely, and then added it later on while still active. Not sequels. I'm talking about a live service game without making a sequel that launched without crossplay and then added it later on. It's really expensive to do and really risky. It takes a lot of money to do it. I'd be interested to see the circumstances under which those games actually added crossplay as well, because I know crossplay can definitely give games trouble. Like, I know Outriders launched with crossplay, and they had a ton of problems with it. Who do you think is the next character? Probably Winter Soldier. Is it possible to improve the RNG? Of course. Will they improve the RNG? No. They've done it before for certain activities, but looters by design have shoddy RNG. But the difference is looters usually have like ways to, you know, modify your gear. There's targeted farming. Yeah, the problem in this game isn't the RNG. The problem in this game is that it doesn't have enough targeted farming. And there's no way to modify gear that you do get. So you're overly reliant on RNG. Looks much better with the cape. I agree. This is my new favorite skin, and it was free. You haven't played this game since the Black Panther release. Has the game gotten any better? A lot better. They've definitely added a bunch of stuff. Still, this game still has issues, but they've definitely added a lot of stuff since War for Wakanda came out. Definitely more new player friendly, and they improved the in-game grind. Like, there used to not be any real in-game loot, and now it actually has one. I called you a shill. Use 110 a character as mouth for a week. Bro, aren't you like 175 on Jane? You shill. Aren't you just asking to play the raid like in the middle of the night? Tony's the biggest Avenger shill here. In the future, you want them to make Captain America with the hologram shield, like in the comics. That'd be a cool skin. Tony is the biggest shield here. Facts. But we're a different time zone. Exactly. 24/7, no matter the time zone, you're ready for some avenging. This man is ready to avenge in every time zone. There we go. I'll keep that. Even though it's signature Sonic. I'll keep that. Like for all heroes to get what kind of cell suit? Yeah, I'm disappointed that they just like abandoned that set. They just made it a one-off. They didn't make it a set. They just made it a one-off Iron Man skin. It definitely should have did one for the whole team. Can't believe Aqua's compare you to races. You hate races. Do you though? I've seen some of your posts, Tony. Pretty sus. We need a new Hawk MCU skin. Do we though? Do we need an MCU Hawk skin where it's basically just slightly different versions of skins that he already has in the game? So I see your Discord messages. That's scary. I really confused you, Aqua. Oh, I know exactly who I'm talking about. Do I know the new information Miller's talk about? Pulling a short-term goal and a long-term goal. What new? By new information, do you mean like something that just came out today? Do I see Namor coming to the Avengers? Possible, not probable. Did you give Hawk a champion hoodie and sweats? That's what I'm saying. Test skins we won't see are quantum skins from Endgame. I'm still surprised that they haven't done those yet. Have I seen Aqua's 4-paragraph apology? False. Fake news. Aqua never apologizes. Get them aimbots? I will. Well, actually, these aren't aimbots. So I'm in Wakanda. So I'm mainly fighting claw forces. But I appreciate the sentiment all the same. I will keep fighting them. No, not today. He won't say the info yet because he wants more clarity, but he says it shocks him. Oh yeah, we were talking about that the other day. Yeah, me and Casual Avenger and a few other people know, but it is a tightly guarded secret. How do you do the weekly challenges time thing? I don't know what that is. Weekly challenges time thing? The weekly challenges are basically weekly the raid, the raid, the OLT, elite villain sector, elite vault. I mean, you just do them. Game needs more flyers. We got them. We got a new one. Jane Foster. What flying characters would I add to the game? Doctor Strange and Scarlet Witch. Echo for Black Panther? No, thank you. Zero interest in a Black Panther Echo. challenge card, the challenge card cheese has been patched. Unfortunately, there's a daily cap on the. They seem to have gotten around it by putting basically a cap on the points you can get. I've heard people trying the challenge card cheese. I've not heard of anyone getting it to work yet. Apparently, it has been patched. Still works for you. I did the challenge card cheese. It 100% didn't work. Like it works up to a certain point, and then you stop accumulating points. I mean, they should have been fixed the challenge card thing, because you know that's little money. Bucky working with AIM or still frozen? Neither. I think Bucky was on his honeymoon with She-Hulk, and then they heard about this AIM thing, and Bucky went to go investigate. They did some stuff behind the scenes, went back to their honeymoon. And then Ultron came through. And now they're going to help Avengers fight Ultron. Gizmo, appreciate that sub. What we do right, gang? Said the daily work, not the weekly. Like I was legit, I was save scumming for gear, and like none of them worked. So they definitely did some things. So I think they should add Phil Coulson. I mean, they have no reason to add Phil Coulson, but if you didn't know, fun fact, Avengers originally was much more focused on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Like, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. at the time was popular. So they were thinking of having Quake as a playable character. They were going to have a horny Gemma Simmons as an NPC. They were going to have Phil Coulson as an NPC. And then when Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. kind of just went out of favor with the MCU, and it didn't look like they were going to be a part of it going forward, they scrapped the whole S.H.I.E.L.D. thing, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. thing. What's up, Eddie Quest? Happy 4th. Winter Soldier will be anti-hero. Winter Soldier will be a hero that is part of the Avengers. I don't think he'll have a room on it. He's not going to have a room in the helicarrier, probably. Even Jane doesn't have a room. That's why they need Avengers Tower. There's not enough room on the helicarrier. Abolish 2-stack gear. I'm with you. There's run room for you right now that says crew, but then they have to throw out the crew. Any tips for pre-raid gear builds? Pre-raid, focus on playing events, focus on getting pretty much the standard things that in-game builds have. Pretty much, if you look across different in-game builds from what the most competitive players have, everyone is using some sort of damage buff, and pretty much everyone is using some kind of heroic regeneration perk, sometimes multiple. Either a perk like this, where it says 3% heroic charge rate increase, but it's actually 300%. Or they're using something like this, the reactive cosmic surge. But that's pretty much what all builds have in common. So just get familiar with the character and the skills, and look for gear that has those perks: damage buff, cosmic surge, and then look for gear, the unique gear for that particular character. See what's good, see what's not good. They have documents, Google Drive documents that have like all the gear for every character, where to find it. Cloning Labs with a new hero? Doesn't sound like it. Sounds like Cloning Labs is just going to be by itself. They should have buffs depending on the characters in the team, like Marvel Alliance does. They should definitely have some sort of set bonus. They have gear sets, but none of them have set bonuses. So you're not actually incentivized to use the set, because most of the perks, most of the gear in the sets are trash. But people just take like one piece of gear from the set and then just rock out with that and just mix and match. Like in Outriders, you're incentivized to actually use sets because there's like a benefit to doing it. And there's just not that in Avengers. So Flossie? To see Jane sharing a room with Thor. Save Scum still working? Yep. Save scumming is still the way. Beat enemies with takedowns. That's my next one. I think the Fantastic Four can make it into the game. Possible, not probable. That's why I say things like that. That one's definitely more on the improbable side, but something like that would depend on how long the game lasts. A lot is going to depend on 2023 when it comes to this game's future. Like if they could make it through 2023, then a lot more stuff is on the table, but they got to get there first. Sup Pimp, sorry late, but you think no operations can work for a cool minute? People are over the story, and operations never added new missions. Then have a big expansion that brought bundles. Yeah, it's pretty much my position. Like I understand people like the operations, but from my perspective as a player, they aren't what I'm looking for right now. They don't really add much. there's no real replay value for me personally. And from their perspective, I understand it's basically like looks like a waste of money because they're spending a lot of time and resources to get this stuff out there, and it's really not bringing much of a return. Like, people come, they play the stuff for a couple hours and they leave, and then the stuff is free on top of that. So from their perspective, it makes sense to not do it and, you know, like pivot. But there's definitely a place to do that in expansions. End of aiming cloning labs, that's what it looks like. Well, hopefully that's what it is. I think AIM Island still might be a thing, so we might not fully be rid of AIM, but I think when Ultron comes, he's gonna take over AIM's infrastructure. So even if we get Ultron, it might not be the last time we see. It probably won't be the last time we see AIM at all. Unfortunately, but at least we'll have a new boss. Yeah, like my biggest thing is heroes and new missions. Like, I'm cool. Like some people are disappointed with Jane. I'm good with this, even though I would ideally like more. I'm still enjoying Jane. I got a lot of content out of it regardless. I'm good with it, but ideally I want some content. The bigger thing is new heroes and villains. Like, that's the thing they can't skimp on. Bring in new heroes, bring in new villains, new game modes. You know, give us the horde mode, give us OLTs. What am I farming for? I'm just farming for vibranium minor artifacts. I'm trying to get better stats on the stuff that I already have before the corrupt the vibranium event ends. I think 2022 will have more or less content. Depends. See, 2021 had Hawkeye's Operation, which was more like an expansion than Wakanda was. That brought in the next gen upgrade in Hawkeye, Future Wastelands map. Then they dropped. Then they introduced events for the first time. MCU skins for the first time. They introduced Beating the Odds Villain Sector, first RLT, first raid, Black Panther, Spider-Man. Probably less. So 2021 so far. The 2022 so far, the first content update was Jane Foster, and we're still expecting. So they had Jane Foster. They had two system updates, but in terms of actual new content, it's just been Jane Foster, and there should be 2 more heroes, She-Hulk and Winter Soldier. And then 2 new missions, Monica Warzone and an OLT. Don't think there's going to be a raid this year. So overall, it's probably going to be less content than 2021. '23 is anybody's guess. I mean, I've heard some things. If those things are true, then 2023 would be by far the biggest year for the game ever, and a complete turning point in the Marvel's Avengers narrative. But I'm skeptical. That they won't put any raid is kind of meh. So the next raid is supposed to be tied to the Kree invasion. That's why we're probably not getting one, because I don't think Captain Marvel was coming out until next year. Nothing I could share now. We talked about it before. People didn't. Miller just hinted at it. Casual Avenger hinted at it. It's a really big secret that we can definitely not talk about. Miller is still in the process of trying to verify it. Because if this information didn't come from someone that apparently does have inside information, I would assume it's just fan theory BS. But because the person has credibility, we have to take it seriously. But I'm going to wait until Miller can verify it. Yeah, until then, got to keep it under wraps. What up, Demir? I would absolutely love it if this turned out to be true, obviously, because it's ridiculous, but I am definitely super skeptical. Impressed by the ambition, though, if this was indeed what they pitched. We asked them to add Wolverine. Yeah, they finally addressed the whole Wolverine X-Men thing. They basically said they're not going to be doing X-Men because they're focused on heroes that are prominent members, more prominent, and they don't want to have, you know, heroes like the X-Men who are more known for being X-Men than being Avengers. That could change down the line, but for now, it looks like they are committed to no X-Men. Bicycle Gaming, we were just talking about Avenger stuff. While I farm this gear. Wolverine got his own game. He does, and I honestly, I'd rather play Insomniac's Wolverine than any version of Wolverine they add to Marvel's Avengers. To keep it a buck. If Feige wants to add Wolverine, they add him. I mean, yeah, Feige wants that, but Feige has nothing to do with this game. He doesn't care. The guy you want is Bill Roseman. That would be the guy, not Kevin Feige. Bill Roseman is the Marvel Games guy. Would it make sense to start working on a Namor? Yeah, if they're very much committed to the MCU, but that depends on how much information they have. That depends on how much access they have to the MCU, because they have to make this stuff well in advance. They can't just churn out a tie-in character on a moment's notice. They'd have to have a reasonable. They have to know in advance what villains are coming, or what characters are coming to these projects, and then they have to have a rough idea of a decent idea of when the project is coming out. Unfortunately, while they could conceivably, find out, from Marvel Games, who's on the horizon, so they can do tie-ins. There's nothing they could do about the whole when a thing is coming out, because even Marvel doesn't always know when stuff is coming out because stuff gets delayed a lot, especially lately. Who works for Feige, but Feige doesn't oversee Marvel games. Feige oversees the MCU. Bill Roseman is in charge of Marvel games. Feige is in charge of the MCU. And Feige, you know, obviously, in so much as, you know, Disney obviously tells Feige what to do at the end of the day, but they tend to just, you know, let Feige do his thing. But Feige does not concern himself with Marvel games. That's not his territory. Bill Roseman does not need to go to Feige to get permission for literally anything. It's like a mafia. How crazy is that? It's no fact. Feige basically runs all Marvel because MCU being a moneymaker. I would say runs all Marvel, but he's kind of looked at like the face of Marvel. He steers the ship. It's a very big corporation. Feige has his bosses, even within Marvel, and Disney is the overseer. If they had Red Skull, Winter Soldier, I'm really not expecting any anything like that. I'm not expecting Hydra to be added. I mean, since Winter Soldier was originally supposed to be an operation, and they're going away from operations, I'm not even sure if Winter Soldier is going to be. I'm not even sure what Winter Soldier is even coming with. Like, he might, for all we know, Winter Soldier might be another hero event. Now, what's up, Captain? Now that they're going away from operations, like, Winter Soldier might have been something else, but they might just drop him in like they did, similar to how they did Jane. Maybe they'll drop him with a mission or two. Maybe he drops with the Ultron storyline, because that seems to be the next villain that they're lining up. His boss is Mickey. Everyone's boss is indeed Mickey Mouse. Literally, Mickey Mouse is sitting at a throne at Disney, telling everyone what to do. It's just like South Park. You haven't done the Black Widow mission chain, and it requires you to complete Up from the Depths. That's tough. If you complete, I'm telling you right now, if you complete Up from the Depths, it disappears from the map. So you're going to lose access to the best XP farm in the game. Just letting you know. So is it worth it? Is it really worth it to unlock that mission chain? They might make him a villain that you can win over. Based on what Miller was talking about, it sounded like he was going to be somehow connected to the whole She-Hulk thing. Happy 4th hit, girl. Appreciate you. Oh, Nightbot coming through. We haven't got the thought bot. So let me do this. All right, bro. Appreciate you. How do you do the claw raid? What do you mean? How do you do the various objectives in the claw raid, or how do you find it on the map? What exactly are you asking? I mean, the basics are you go to Wakanda with three other people and play the raid. I mean, good luck finding 3 other people matchmaking, depending on what you're playing on, but even then, you're probably better off looking for a group of players and just teaming up with them. They have LFG groups like that in different Discords. The official Avengers Discord, you can go on the Reddit. You can try to find somebody in the chat, or you can try your luck with matchmaking. That Jane Foster helps you out. Appreciate you for watching. Glad it could help. Wish you could create a league. I mean, you could. I know Doom is kind of doing that with DSG. He's kind of doing like he's trying to kind of make a fight club into a league type of deal for the next season. How do you do the objectives in the claw raid? The claw objectives. So all of this refers to the different missions, different parts of the claw raid. You'd have to actually play them to do them. You'll come across them as you're playing the claw raid. The sonic wall is you're basically everyone's standing on a platform until it turns purple, and then getting in the middle under a protective bubble to avoid a one-shot mechanic. You do that 3 times, and then you get through the sonic wall. Take control of the forge. The forge is just a multi-tiered structure where you have one person on the bottom calling out symbols. The person at the top destroys a structure of the appropriate symbol. Then you destroy some vibranium. It's really not that hard once you know. There's like a ton of videos on YouTube walking you through the raid step by step. I don't have any videos on tutorials for the raid, but I have played the raid before on stream. But there are guides out there showing you each objective one by one. They're not that hard. The hardest part is actually just finding people to do them. But once you find people that are willing to do the raid, you'll be okay. Matchmaking can be tough because sometimes when you do find people, sometimes you find people that like are really mean. All I can do is watch people play Jane until August. I'm definitely looking forward to that cloning labs. Hopefully it comes at the end of August at least. You want to nerf Hawkeye next? Nerfs are dumb, but some of them are necessary. Like I understand them nerfing Infinite Bifrost. I thought they could have left Critical Throw alone. I think they only nerfed Critical. I think they only nerfed Thor now because Jane came out. Knowing that she's an Echo character, they wanted to make sure people played her instead of Thor. So that gave them more incentive to address some of Thor's exploits. Infinite Bifrost was definitely a little too OP. I understand the reasoning for that. I'm just farming for better vibranium payload pieces. I got both the vibranium minor artifacts that I wanted, but they don't have the exact stats that I want. So I'm farming for the better stats. The Hawkeye is definitely the most OP in the game right now. Well, besides Iron Man. Iron Man. They're working on Iron Man apparently too. Like they just gave Hulkbuster another buff, which is crazy. But Hawkeye is pretty OP right now. He still has his invincibility piece on top of doing a ton of damage already. I mean, that's the main thing that's broken about Hawkeye. It's literally just that chest piece. What's the Hulkbuster buff? Hulkbuster can get all of Iron Man's gear. All of Iron Man's gear perks now apply to Hulkbuster. So any gear perks that you have on Iron Man, you can get on Hulkbuster. Signature attacks, damage buffs, reactive empowerment. So you can literally put an intrinsic, a reactive empowerment buff on Iron Man, so that if you fill your intrinsic every time whenever you take damage, and it'll apply while Hulkbuster is active, so you can effectively stay in Hulkbuster forever, as long as you're triggering the right perks. You can just be in Hulkbuster the entire time, effectively with the intrinsic perks. What is the Spider-Man drone piece called? Spider-Man drone piece. Check hidden messages. Spider-Man. It's the Public Menace Ward. Public Menace Ward. Get that from vaults. Oof. Get wrecked. Spider-Man is pretty fun. What's the name of the Hawkeye piece? Operative's Armor. It's Hawkeye's priority exotic. Is it true Spider-Man is the weakest character in the game? Nope. I mean, it might be from a pure DPS. I don't know who's the worst from a DPS. It's probably Kate. If we're talking pure DPS. Appreciate that sub. God, welcome to Durag Gang. Like the problem with Kate is that her heroics are just cheeks. Spider-Man's weakness is that he can't do status on his web status is limited in effectiveness against bosses, but his drone is like extremely powerful, especially since it can now proc payloads. So if you just build a high Valor range Spider-Man, you can just melt. He has scattershot spam. I mean, she always had that scattershot to a degree. The problem is Kate's scattershot is not like that. Like if you're talking about the cancel, it's not like she's doing like Iron Man levels of damage. Like Kate can do good damage purely based off gear. Like you build, just like everyone else, you build her up, you build up her rating, her range rating. You get targeted buff, you get payloads, you do the battery effect. But she doesn't get the same benefit from heroics as other heroes. Heroics are usually a detriment. Like the best thing about her heroics are the ability to help with speed runs. Is it legal to do a ranged Spider-Man build? It is legal to do any type of build in this game, as long as you're not using Save Wizard to do it. You would not want to get hit by the hammer? Definitely not. Yeah, Kate's literally like a utility character, not a DPS character. Is it possible to get Tachyon Hammer and Vibranium status? Are you asking if the Tachyon Surge range perk, the Tachyon Surge range gear comes with Vibranium? Currently, the Tachyon Surge gear, I've only ever seen it drop with Cosmic. If you're talking, you can get like Pim on it, but if you're talking about like the God roll, like you're going to get the God roll always comes with Cosmic. Like the targeted buff with the Tachyon Surge always comes with Cosmic. I've never seen it drop with Vibranium. Rage Hawk is illegal. Rage Hawk is. I'm not sure how that's connected to Spider-Man. You need the Ring of Nebulon to do Up from the Depths. I mean, to be honest, the Ring of Nebulon, it's kind of. I mean, there are some people that use the Ring of Nebulon, but I don't. Like the extra recharge. The extra recharge perk is like unnecessary in my opinion. If you're using one of these recharge perks that give you like a 300% increase, like you don't need the ring. Like I see some people run the ring while they're also running one of these recharge perks, and I don't get it personally. Not for me. I don't think it's necessary. And they always end up taking it off anyway when they have to actually do some damage. So when it comes to the end game, I understand the Ring of Nebulon. There was a time when people liked the Ring of Nebulon because it was useful. Now that we have these supercharged perks and stuff, it's a trash major artifact. It's unnecessary. I don't need to get my heroics back in 1 orb instead of 2. It's fine. I'll take the Tachyon. I'll take the Tachyon. I'll take the Tactagon or the Nornstone and actually do damage to enemies. So I don't need the ring. The ring is dog water. As soon as we found out about those supercharged perks, the ring became obsolete, in my opinion. Wait till they nerf the heroic charge perk. That's the thing. They already said that it was intentional. They intentionally did it this way. The only glitch with the heroic charge perk is that it doesn't visually say what it actually does. And even if they nerf the heroic charge perk, the Ring of Nebelong is still trash. You'd be better off using like Rampage heroic. You'd better using like Faultless Spark and Cosmic Surge rather than using the ring. We rocking it again. I know. Well, this Thursday I'm definitely raiding and running the OLT with Jane, and I'm gonna make sure I save scum the raid as well. So I might be playing the raid multiple times because I'm looking for I'm gonna be looking for certain exotics for Jane, so definitely gonna be rocking out like that. What is the perk by name? It's different for every hero. What you're looking for is a perk that says 200, like a 2% or 3% increase to heroic energy or heroic charge rate. For Thor, it's the Wreath of Yggdrasil, which I showed earlier. And she also has a raid gear that has that perk as well. What's the next event? Should be the Red Room Takeover. Will we see Vision in this game with the Ultron raid? Definitely not. I don't think there's going to be an Ultron raid at all, and Vision is definitely not coming out this year. You to max out your heroes? Bet. Yeah, I definitely want, now that I should have more. I already have some of Vibranium minor artifacts. With Jane, I'm looking for a good faultless buff from the raid. I know that perk comes with Captain America's new exotic set. On Captain America, it's Rally Cry Supercharge. It comes with his technical gear, which you could get from vaults. So Captain America, if you get that exotic, if you get his exotic chest piece technical if you get his technical exotic piece, then you can get that perk as well. Hulk has it on his new set, on his slot 4 technical set. Nope. Why is it so hard to get reactive buffs now? I remember it didn't used to be this hard to find reactive buffs. I used to get a lot of them. Relatively, now I don't. Let me test this out. See if it's any good. Three stat gear is better than 2 stat. Working piece by piece for God rules, nice. It depends on what the stat is though. Like if you're looking for might and valor, and you get a piece with might, valor, and intensity, then it doesn't actually matter. So it also depends on that 3rd stat. I'd rather have 2. I'd rather have 3 just in general. But if I'm ultimately, the only time that 3rd stat for me really matters or comes up is if I need resolve. If I need a piece that has resolve on it, then that 3rd stat does matter. But if it's like intensity, I don't care. As long as it's the thing, as long as it has the 2 things that I actually need for my build, I don't care about the 3rd stat. No one plays Iron Man. Iron Man's still very popular, especially for raid players, because he's like required if you're trying to run through the raid quickly. And not only is Iron Man valuable because of his missile spam in the raid, he can basically do the forge almost completely by himself with his laser, without having to worry about the wipe. He can help Zero Face Claw with the missile spam by targeting the eye. And now that Hulkbuster's got all these buffs, he can basically stay in Hulkbuster the whole time, depending on how you have your build set up, and can make the stun phase go by super fast. Iron Man is overall just great in the raid. He is the best. He is the bestest. How do you missile spam practice? You're switching between missiles and lasers or repulsors and missiles really fast. Practice in the harm room until you have the rhythm. Yeah, I do appreciate that they're buffing the Hawk. They're making the Hulkbuster like actually viable.
Traipsing through Wakandan territory? I thought you could be the unwelcome
No, just being able to spread status on battery
Send you their exact location.
with the Hulkbuster signature. Like even if you're just doing that, like I have Sonic on Iron Man's signature, so when I'm in Hulkbuster, when he does the fist, it spreads Sonic, and then I can just do takedowns while absorbing the Sonic. It's pretty crazy. Then I got the cosmic missiles.
Claw patrol doing bus knows what. Sending you their location. Could you take a look?
I mean, you can run whatever build you want. It just depends on what you're trying to do. Like if you're just obviously looking for maximum power, then yeah, you want to go missile build. But if you just focus on maintaining your heroics, then can't go wrong with Sonic Laser. We need more diverse characters. I mean, we got some. We've got black characters. We've got a Pakistani character. We've got women. We've got gods and aliens. We got all sorts of characters in this game.
I am not detecting any more corruption in the area for now. You are good to go.
Barely used the Hulkbuster at all until they buffed it. Same. The only time I used the Hulkbuster before all the buffs was in the raid. If I couldn't get away from the one shot in time, I would just hop in the Hulkbuster. Otherwise, I had no use for it. Do I see a big feature for the game? Yes and no. Yes, because I know something about 2023 potentially. No, because it also depends on a lot of factors. Like when the Embracer deal finally closes, what are they officially going to say about Marvel's Avengers? How much support are they giving them? It really all depends on the Embracer group and Marvel Games. Like until I have confirmation from the Embracer group that they're continuing, then I'm like skeptical. Do tell, I don't think I will. Still waiting for that roadmap. You're gonna be waiting for a long time, because it ain't coming. That they said was early 2022. You're working on old news, my friend. They've long since said that they're not doing that anymore. If you're waiting for that roadmap, they already confirmed that you're not getting it. That roadmap has been divided into smaller individual roadmaps. You're basically seeing that roadmap rolled out over a course of months. You had patch 2.3, patch 2.4, patch 2.5. Now patch 2.6. All of that is the roadmap. You're just not getting it in a JPEG. Spider-Woman and Spider-Women and Marvel's Avengers? No thanks. What is this? Race deal finalizes next month. Do you know that for a fact, or are you just speculating? First, no roadmap, now no more operations, expansions. They didn't say expansions. They just said that the one-off that they're pivoting away from the one-off story content that was basically just one and done single player stuff. Like, they didn't rule out expansions at any point. And they should still do expansions, but I think they should definitely charge for them. If they're going to actually do a legitimate expansion. But operations are definitely a good thing to get rid of, because they weren't adding anything to the growth of the game. And they were using so many resources to do them. So I'm glad they're not doing them. As long as they get out good multiplayer content and heroes faster, then I'm fine with not having 2 hours of cutscenes and one use missions that I'm not going to play again. Because like legit, yeah, it legit doesn't interest me. I like the story, but they can do that without having to commit so much to single player content. The next big villain is Ultron. Why not interplanetary travel? Because this is definitely not No Man's Sky. They don't. I mean, they could have. They could eventually do biomes. A biome that takes place in space. I mean, that sounds like what they might do with the Captain Marvel Korean version. Maybe have a mission in space. I mean, they already have a mission in the campaign that takes place in space. They can definitely do that for the Kree thing. But interplanetary travel, this is a completely different game. This is a live service action beat 'em up. It's not an exploration game. How do you get the Thor buff so you can hit more than one target? For Thor or Jane? Or are you talking about Thor or Mighty Thor? Either way, it's just on the skill tree. Just look on the skill tree. If you've unlocked all their skills, just select it on the skill tree. Thor has it. Thor has manual targeting in his mastery section. Jane is just part of her range kit. Ultron, I would expect Ultron sooner than the end of the year. Find the call rate with Jane, big dubs. Congrats. Yeah, we did that on the 28th. We didn't end up getting worlds first, but still got through the raid with Jane with a full Jane strike team. That was pretty fun. Having nothing but Janes on the raid strike team. We even got a one phase on Thursday. That was pretty fun. You can't even stray too far off a map, let alone travel between planets. Facts. For future biomes, you'd love to see something where we can send out factions to collect items. You mean like have the AI grab items for you? Game 152, nice. Ultron solo with a hero included? It is unclear. Ultron they could do either. They could either drop him as a standalone thing, or they can drop him with a hero. I'd guess they're going to drop him with a hero. And it's probably going to be Winter Soldier. It's the easiest way to level up Jane Foster's power level. Same for every other character. If you're just trying to go through the fastest, buying gear from the vendor one at a time, equipping it, equip the highest power level gear, dismantle the old power level gear, rinse it and repeat. Right now, if you're trying to unlock more skills, get XP, it's a quadruple XP right now. So definitely take advantage of that if you have a new Jane, you don't have all her skills yet, or you're trying to get your champion points up. Definitely pop a consumable. I hate these spiders so much. By new Jane, I obviously mean like under-leveled Jane. Like if your Jane is not maximum power level with a good build, you don't have all the skills, that is a new Jane. Yeah. Just to clarify. Well, technically she's a clone, so new Jane is basically old Thor, but prettier. Horn Echoes are the worst enemies. The Horn Echoes, those are easy. The drones are the most annoying sometimes. No, the echo spiders. those are super annoying. But no, none are worse than the claws men. Claws enemies that because they can trap you in an infinite loop with their staff attack. They could just juggle you infinitely. It's so dumb. Like the Horn Echoes are just big, dumb, slow. You can easily deal with them. But those claw soldiers are fast. They dodge, and one hit and they could just juggle you infinitely. It's so dumb. It's awful design. Do I see more clone heroes coming? Not anytime soon, but definitely something they're going to explore, especially as the more characters come to the MCU. Like I know Ironheart is coming out in Wakanda Forever this year, and they can definitely conceivably make an Ironheart Echo and have her out to potentially promote Wakanda Forever. That's definitely a possibility. I'll be right back. Surprise. I've returned. If the shills will stop lying, it doesn't know how to save the game. I think the devs have enough feedback from the right people, but at the end of the day, they're gonna do what they're gonna do. I mean, obviously they have more data than we have to work with, so they can they can look at the data, see what players are engaging with, what they're not engaging with, and make decisions otherwise. Jane is overpowered. She's pretty beastly. What about the MODOK OT? What about it? You want to call a boss fight? Everybody left? Rip. That's tough. That's tough. Wow. Everybody left at the last boss fight and you can't even solo it. That's tough. Down bad. That happened with Laajune kinda the last time we played the raid together, except we were able to finish it because he was the only one that got kicked. Like all of us were fine, so we were able to finish it, but Laajune was the only one that got kicked right at the final fight. It was so bad. He just ended stream. Yeah, I'm mad too, bro. That's why I don't play the raid that often, particularly on stream, because there's always some BS. If you play the raid enough, some BS is going to happen. Yeah, I definitely appreciate the stuff, Nathan. I definitely understand people that love the story stuff, but I know they looked at I know what they did. They looked at the analytics. They were like, okay, well, we're making X amount of money from the marketplace because that's our only revenue source, pretty much. Because we promised all DLCs would be free. We're spending all this money, all this time, putting out these operations that are single player and story heavy, and people are playing it. People are coming to check it out if it's new with a new hero, but they're playing it like once and then not playing it anymore. So they're like, okay, well, we're not really getting a return on our investment here. Like, it'd be one thing if people were willing to pay for that content, but if you're not even willing to pay for the story content, then I mean, there's not really a conversation to be had here. Like, if it's they're every decision they make is based on return on investment and bringing in new players. Does Clint's operative's armor drop precision? Nope, it is locked. It is locked with those stats. Which PlayStation Live player count? Show live player counts for games and sales. That would definitely help things, at least for us. You and Peter had the infinite red orb spawn and crashed out. Yikes. You right at the 2 claws, couldn't move. Oh, that's so bad. Operative's armor has precision and raid. It's not Operative's armor. It's his elite raid piece. It's not Operative's armor. Operative's armor is a separate piece. His elite raid piece is different. It's a completely different piece. It has a perk in common with Operative's armor. The split multiplier. So initially people wanted that piece because they're like, okay, well, we can get the split multiplier, but also have Valor and precision. But then people found out that Operative's armor, it has a very, very powerful exploit, so they just been using that instead. That's the issue. The extra Valor and precision isn't worth it when at the trade-off is you're giving up, you're gaining extra Valor and precision, but you're losing infinite, you're losing invulnerability. Ooh, I got a payload piece. Which one is it? Faultless, precision, proficiency, resolve. That's tough. That's tough. Yeah. So overall, Operative's armor is better in my opinion because when you're overcharged, you're invincible. If you use Operative's armor, I think that's better than having the split multiplier with Valor and precision. 95% of Jane's animations are reused. True. A lot of reused takedowns and emotes as well. All right, Nathan. So no more story. That yeah. So what they're going to do is they'll still do story content, but it'll be more focused on like multiplayer content rather than just these big operations built around single player story content. So think like Monica's beating the odds mission, how that is it's a multiplayer villain piece of content that also happens to tell some story. That's kind of the direction they're going in. The Hawkeye Operative's armor is a priority exotic. You get it from daily priority missions. Did Square actually make CD Center skins for Kate and Widow? Square? No, Square doesn't care about them. Square does not care about that at all. I mean, look at some of their Tifa merchandise. And Marvel, that was definitely a Crystal Dynamics decision. Because I know Marvel Games doesn't care. That was the individuals at the Crystal Dynamics design department that decided that they didn't want their characters to look a certain way. Because they definitely don't censor stuff in other Marvel games. So this is 100% that is 100% on Crystal Dynamics. Did everything reset? Everything resets every day except for the OOT, the raids, basically the weekly stuff. Otherwise, everything resets every day. Everything resets every day. Weekly reset is Thursday. Yeah. That's when the new skins come out. That's when the weekly mission change reset. Why does it say failed to join session? It's a bug. Most likely. Best status for Spider-Man drone. Whatever, depends on what other status you're doing. Do you have what is your overall build? How are you dealing the battery effect on your build? Greed, yeah, appreciate that sub. Welcome to D-Rag Gang. Allow you miss playing Avengers? Of course. Avengers, strongest game there is. Even the people that hate it, that say they hate it, can't stay away from it. Skin doesn't have bugs, alternate features. Jane skin this week. Yeah. Thor Love and Thunder comes out this week. How strong do you think Jane will be at 175? Very strong.
You are close to another vein of corrupted vibranium.
It's already pretty strong right now. Zero will be greatly missed. Honestly, not really. Because, like I said, they're not going to stop doing story. They're just not going to do these operations where it's just one-off story content that no one's going to replay. Because if it was sorely missed, people would be replaying the stuff, and they're not, because no one cares. Like, once they play the stuff, they're ready for the next thing. It just doesn't have replay value. I do have my tickets. Marvel's Avengers, best game ever created. You heard it from John Smith. He said it. What the issue with the hero, from what we know, most likely instead of operations, they're going to do what they effectively already been doing. Like some people don't know this, but the one-off content like the raid, the OLT, even Monica's beating the odds, they were originally supposed to be a part of the DLCs, but they were delayed. So all they would do was just break them up. We also don't know how much of She-Hulk's operation is done. We know they put in work on the character, but it sounds like Winter Soldier is going to be next anyway. So they might, if they pivoted away from operations, then they'd just be focusing on the actual multiplayer content itself. Like, we know they're working on patrol mode, they're releasing an OLT. That looks like what they're doing going forward. Will Thor's movie skin be coming out? They haven't announced it yet. And Miller has not leaked anything new skin-wise that I've seen since his last leaks. So, I don't know. But obviously, you would expect them to have Jane, but this is Crystal Dynamics we're talking about. Another week without the orders? Probably. People who hate this game the most are the ones who come back to make 3 videos hating on it. Every update. They're also in every content creator's chat every week. It's pretty funny and sad. Big any Jane skins? Yeah, we've been talking about that today. This week is Thor: Love and Thunder. So if they did what they're supposed to do, then of course we should have Jane. We should have more Jane this week. I hope they don't have another repeat of Spider-Man No Way Home. But that was a different situation with Sony being involved. But they also had a similar issue with Hawkeye, where their Kate Bishop MCU skin was late. But they were good with the Miss Marvel one, so I don't think there should be an issue. They got the Miss Marvel skin out the same day the show dropped, so everything should be on time with Jane Foster. I think they might bring Ralph Boner. No. I think Ralph Boner is done. Maybe they'll reference it again as a gag. I watched Brian stream. Nah, I got bored like 5 minutes in. Someone posted a recap of some of the stuff they answered. The only noteworthy news I've heard from Brian's stream so far is that we're getting a new Black Panther skin. Everything else is basically him answering the same questions that people ask all the time. Is Spider-Man coming to non-PlayStation platforms? Where's crossplay? What's the next MCU skin? Who's your favorite MCU character? What's the best MCU skin? What roadmap when? Did he specify? No. Which he wouldn't, because that would, if he did specify, that would technically be a leak. And we know how he feels about leaks. He made that very clear. He is not a fan of the leaks. Everything we know about She-Hulk says that she is not going to be an Echo at all. She has a completely different playstyle. He also confirmed we're not getting Toby and Andrew skins due to Sony. Yeah. Which I've been saying like forever. Like the reason why we don't have those skins are because of Sony. Like that's a Sony call.
I am not detecting any more corruption in the area for now. You are good to go.
Can't go over how odd the new MCU Iron Man looks without Robert Downey's face. It's a little jarring because it's like they try to make him look like Robert Downey. He looks kind of like Robert Downey, but not. I don't care as long as they have as long as he has a gauntlet. I think it'll be a dub. Spider-Man is already in Avengers. Spider-Woman, no thanks. I think we're all over Spider-Man for the most part. It's an unfortunate saga in the Avengers struggle that is behind us now. No more platform exclusive heroes. We can just focus on content for everybody. No North the goat. Yeah, maybe they should have spent less money on voice actors. Depending on, I don't know how much they spent on voice actors, but they definitely got the best of them for this game. Like A-tier talent. In the league pick, you can see the soul stone on his gauntlet. Can you though? Can you specifically see the soul stone on his gauntlet? Can you though? I feel like people are kind of projecting. It's very unclear. You bet there's no gauntlet? That would not surprise me. Because it does not look like it. You see a gauntlet every time you look? Same. Like I'll pull it up right now. And we'll enlarge it as far as we can. And we'll see chat if you can spot the Infinity Gauntlet and an Infinity Stone. There it is.
Mindless robots and their keepers will never be a match for Wakanda. Nor it seems for the Avengers. Thank you for stopping them.
That doesn't look like that doesn't look like the gauntlet. I'm not gonna cap. Definitely don't see any stones. I'll tell you that right now. That's not a stone. The stone is not embedded on his thumb. The stone is embedded in the gauntlet. I would hope that they have the gauntlet. It just does not. It just the photo is inconclusive. It's clearly not the stone. Unless they put the stone in his glove, in his actual, in just a weird place on his thumb. Right, this is the end game skin, so let me pull up the end game skin. Seeing what it could be. So, like if you look at the actual suit, you can tell what is the gauntlet, what is not the gauntlet. Like he has this elevated thing on his fist, on the back of his hand. So that's what looks like it's a gauntlet. Bro, if it's, why would the soul stone be by itself on his thumb? That doesn't make any sense. The soul stone is supposed to be on the gauntlet. If you look closely, like, let me take a screenshot of this so you can see. I'm still supposed to be though. It's not the there's no gauntlet in this picture. I'll tell you that right now. If it makes it into the final game, cool. It's not in this picture. And I'll show you why right now. Cause we'd be able to see the gauntlet. This is the end game. I'll pull up the actual end game skin from this game. Then Iron Man uses nanotech instead of gauntlet. So you see this elevated thing here, which some people thought was a gauntlet. That's this thing. That's this thing. So the question is, where's the rest of it? Where's the rest of it? So let's pull up the movie. Iron Man gauntlet. Let's look at the gauntlet. I hope they have it, but it's hard to tell. All right, here it is. Here's a better picture. Here's the actual gauntlet that Iron Man had. This is the actual gauntlet from that I pulled up. Trying to see if I get a better image. Here's another one. Here's a Hot Toys. We got a Hot Toys one. You hear about them replacing Nick Fury in the MCU? No. Where was that? Was that a rumor or is it official? What's up, Dante? Can someone explain how to get the Read the Artist seal? Go to the vendor and buy it. Today I found one in the Wakanda vendor. If you also use your system to travel back in time to June 28th, it was in the helicarrier. No stones, no buy. I hope stones buy. I hope stones. Yeah, I agree. I hope they have the stones, but if they don't, then yeah, this skin's a L. Unfortunately. Yeah, there's zero chance to be touching this skin. If there's no gauntlet. I'm not rebuying the skin that I already have just for some battle damage. We'll see when it comes out. Subcards Planet. If you look closely, you can see the purple stone on his index. That's 100% cap. You cannot see that. That's 100% cap. So, don't get the helmets off. Oh yeah, of course. That's so important. I'd rather have it on. Thank you. I'm fine. I think I'll do without it. All right, I'm gonna wrap it up for today. Thanks everyone for hanging out with me. I did not get all the stuff that I wanted, but had a nice conversation all the same. I'll see you all tomorrow. I'm Sadot the Gamer, signing out.